How would you search and find the root causes for low self-esteem and lack of self-confidence? It's not one isolated incident. It's really hard to pinpoint it to one person in your life hurting your feelings or one incident that popped up and just, everything was downhill from there. There are definitely some powerful events in our life that leave an impression, and in many ways it shifts what I've talked with you guys about with regards to our worldview, those sunglasses that we wear all the time. And so think of it like shades, where it's like, okay, I've got some light sunglasses on, and then I add a layer when I have a major event, and then I add another layer, and then I add another layer, and it keeps going and going until those sunglasses get darker and darker. But what we like to call it in the psychology world and in the trauma-focused world is micro traumas, micro experiences. It's little incidents that take place that often may support a doubt we feel about ourselves, and in a way it validates it. So it's like, oh, I'm not a very fast runner. Maybe I have a doubt. I don't know if I'm going to be very fast at this. And then the first time I go running, I trip and I fall. See, I'm not that great at this running. And we have these little micro traumas that over time begin to support these not necessarily true and accurate assumptions about ourselves and worldviews. And so some of that is where it comes from, is these little things that have happened to us over time. Another thing that's really interesting is that we often, and there's been a ton of research about this that is really fascinating, we often pick up a lot of worldviews of the people we're around as well, and especially our parents under the age of 6 years old. In that time, we are so susceptible to imprinting, and so we're learning, it's very black and white, very all or nothing thinking. And what we do is we polarize many concepts at that early age, and we carry that into adulthood. Perfect example of this is with phobias. Children have an uncanny ability to develop a phobia that mimics their parent's phobia. If a child's parent is terrified of snakes, for example, even if the child hasn't had the experience themselves, they develop a mirror experience, and it happens in their neurology. They have no control over it. They're not even aware that it's happening, and it's developing to protect them. But if you think about many of the aversions, the preferences, the fears, the anxieties, the essentially experience that your parents had, go back to those first under 10 years, but really under 6 years. What was going on for your parents and the people who you were mostly around during that time? And you'll find that much of your anxiety was probably mimicking and developed during that period of time. And that's why sometimes it's very confusing.